is that I have quite a strong background within the adult entertainment industry. And when they say, "What are you buying?" and I went, "None of your business." As Ash said, I did ask him last night, "Would you be interested in a little head?" I did go out for a lunch date with an active sex worker.
Hi, and welcome back to Taxi Talk. This week, as you know, I'm David Hunter. This is Ashley Butcher.
Hello again.
And we're delighted to have with us today the taxman, but not the taxman for HMI, the taxman who works for us, the industry, Gary Jacobs.
Hello.
Hello, Gary.
Woo! So we're going to try and get upbeat about tax. Yay!
Whoa.
Yay! We're talking about tax. Yay!
Oh.
But on this episode, we're not just going to talk tax. We're going to have stories about lap dancers. We're going to have basically Gary's world brought to you in one humble little podcast. And then we'll be offering some tax advice that, because I know it's very confusing. It's a very boring subject, but there's some very simple remedies that you guys can use, because obviously cash is becoming less. It's more digital. And so you'll be, you don't need to pull your hair about, come the end of the financial year, January, isn't it?
We're going to talk about tax love.
Tax
love.
That's what we're going to talk about.
But before we get into tax love, let's talk about you, Gary. Gary, you're ex-army, aren't you?
No.
No?
Someone said you were a rear gunner on a bread van.
Yeah, back in the day.
I have three industries in which I'm particularly strong. Obviously, private hire and ground transport being the first one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Easy Tax also does a huge amount with the security industry. So my links to the security industry are ex-military, ex-uniform, and it tends to be the higher end work, close protection and stuff like that. So I spend a huge amount of my time with squaddies, basically, which is probably where it comes from. And I do have a long history of dealing with ex-uniform. So yeah, that's a big side of the business. And obviously logistics we deal with as well. And as you well know where I'm going, because it's what you were waiting for, is that I have quite a strong background within the adult entertainment industry as an accountant.
Listen to this, actually. Adult entertainment. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
it's entertainment for adults, but my job is the numbers.
I'm glad you
the
said
figures.
numbers. Yes.
But and as you well know, we have some good stories from my early days looking after that side.
What possible tax account issues could a lap dancer run into then?
Do you know, in the early days, people make the presumption...
Come and sit here and tell me about it. You've got 20 quid.
I think it's a lot more than 20 quid. I mean, I don't know if I've been on that end of things.
So Ash told me 20 years ago that's how much it was.
We always tend to ask Ash. When I first started the practice 180 years ago, most of my clients were cash clients that the HMRC didn't like. Inland revenues it was at the time. And the adult entertainment industry, specifically like lap dancers, entertainers, it used to be that the people said, well, why would they pay tax? Why would they claim tax? Surely it's a cash only industry. But actually, if you want to claim benefits, receive national insurance benefits, if you want to buy a property, you actually have to be declaring. So people that worked within that industry actually do tax returns. And that's kind of where it started, really.
So how does it work with a lap dancer? Is it a bit like a hairdresser? Hairdresser will rent a chair, don't they, basically?
Yeah, they'll be self-employed working in a club.
So they kind of rent...
The club will be the main contractor, and they will earn their money and then pay a commission, a chair fee, a lap fee.
A lap fee, or a pole
fee, or whatever. And there's lots of, and obviously nowadays it's moved into
nail bars.
Well, we're in the OnlyFans generation now, so a lot of
what's
it is
OnlyFans?
I've no idea. It's some sort of a website that people use. But what a lot of the adult entertainment side used to do is they're now moving into web-based entertainment.
Yes.
Yeah.
And once again, most of the people doing that self. I mean, from my point of view,
I suppose it's safer, isn't it, doing it at home?
Yeah, it is.
Well, it's also opened the market for people that didn't particularly want to, put a spangly costume in a bag and drive to in my case, whether in Essex or East London, and dance on a pole.
I couldn't see you as a lap dancer, to be true.
Do you know what? One of the club owners once said to me, "There's a market for everybody." But it'd have to be a pretty big pole.
Even you with your old pants.
Tell you what, yeah, older than your son.
Yeah. So
but,
the market for everything.
you know,
we think the world's your audience, isn't it?
It is. Everything's there.
If somebody wants to look at your socks and pants, they
they
pay a
can do.
subscription for
Yeah.
it.
Do you know what? And I think that's the thing, is that that interweb thing that people go on now.
Sorry, what was that?
You know, the
Interbred.
the World Wide
Oh,
Web.
interweb.
But online, most of the people that are performing and doing whatever they do, you know, hitting a frog on the head with a hammer, whatever people, was it Rule 34? If you can think about it, it's you can find it on the web on a website. But it does mean that these are self-employed workers, and if you want to be able to benefit from the benefits of doing a tax return and being able to claim and buy property or be recognised, and obviously we were talking before, we're moving to a cashless society, so you can't hide the profits.
Yeah, that's the problem. In the old days, you have cash, you can go out and buy a motor car. Now you can't, because I don't know, what's the value now for cash? I know you struggle to get it out of the bank if you need to buy a motorbike.
Yes.
Well,
£4,000.
there's nowhere to pay in anymore. I mean, I have this across the board with clients. If they did take cash, what do they do with it? So if I can get boring for a second, Making Tax Digital is coming in next year, which means
This is January 2026.
April 26. Well,
Is that the year from this April 25 to April 26, or is it coming in from April 26 to April 27?
Yeah, it will come in. Sorry, I nearly lost my little head. It will come in the new tax year next year. I mean, it's only I don't want to get too boring, but it's only starting off with smaller taxpayers, but then they're going to roll it out to bigger taxpayers than companies. But basically, what it means is you've got to produce stuff on software that the HMRC can have a look at. So it's pretty important that you present yourself. You can't just walk into your accountant with a bag of receipts.
No.
But that's, you know, people are treating it like it's not a big deal, but it's society changing.
But it is. I mean, we bought a new house recently, and they wanted to know where the deposit came from, and you have to go back and you.
Oh yeah, they go. They want to know whether you've laundered it.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, so it's got to be shown, and this is how it's evolving.
Obviously we're involved in making payments and things for clients and operators and bits and pieces. Banks spend a huge amount of time stopping the money, going, what's it being used for?
Yes.
I tell you the story. I opened up a little account for one of these electronic banks, and I wanted obviously, you know that I have a broad section of interest, so I wanted to buy.
Is this like a Revolut or
one of those kind of ones?
Yeah.
I wanted to buy a lawnmower because you know how exciting my life is.
Sit on one? Just trying to gauge the size of your property, Gary. Is it a sit on one? Yeah.
Okay.
Full forest kit. You know,
fly mode.
It was a John Deere.
Clocks as well.
Let's get it out there. Anyway, and I put the money in the account and went to buy my thing, and they stopped it. I've gone, okay, and can you phone this number? And I phoned the number, and they said, what are you buying? And I went, none of your business. And they went, well, you know, obviously you've got to, are you being forced to buy it? And I went, well, you know, my wife likes a clean garden, but I don't think I'm being forced really. And they were serious, you know, are you being forced to buy it? What is the situation? Are you buying? I went, it's a John Deere sit-on lawnmower. It's not going to be that complicated. And literally, and in the end, so this is what's happening to people.
Is this a sign of things to come? Because, I mean, there's much talk about digital ID. There was all those conspiracy theories during COVID that we're moving to digital ID, and like the Chinese social, what's the word? Social, I can't think of the word, but it...
Oh, I know. Okay.
We'll come back to that later. But the digital ID is really to stop you buying certain things. So it'd be linked to net zero. Look, you're booking too many flights. We're physically going to stop you. You're doing too many journeys. You can't buy fuel. You're eating too many crisps. You're drinking too much. That technology through the blockchain, I think it is.
Blockchain based.
It's coming, isn't it?
Well, I think it's interesting because obviously, if you speak to the government, they'll say that's a conspiracy theory and it's not right. However, banks are actually go and Google it. Banks are. People say, I want to draw out X amount of £1,000, and banks are saying to you, why?
Yeah.
And the answer
Right.
is, a bank is not a government institution or a charitable institution. A bank is a business, and they're asking you what do you want to use the money for, and the answer should be none of your business. But if you say none of your business, they won't let you get it your own money.
But
right.
I mean, without getting political, there have been many examples of banks being closed just because of your political, whether you're far right, far left, or whatever. So I generally think it will come where we have digital ID and we're going to be sort of like Big Brother's going to be watching us. You can't spend that.
Always,
You're a protester. We'll cut you off.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we already have a very distinct digital footprint. So the kind of concept of digital ID is already here, and people having do you know how many people have their bank accounts closed without giving? And it's AML, it's anti-money laundering checks. They don't ever give a reason. I mean, it's not great.
And it's frightening, every time you want to pay something online, you go on there, online banking, and it always gives you a code and then asks you what you're going to be paying for, be it 10, 50, 100 £100. It doesn't matter. It's just like, you got to give an extra. But the thing is, there's always a trail behind it, isn't there? Then
it's getting so dystopian. I can see now why people are hanging on to cash, because there is a degree of freedom there, or gold, even better. But
let's bring it round full circle to our industry. I'm talking about private hire and public hire, not. Tax simplification rules. Any driver will know that he's now, if he wants to renew his licence, he's got to make a declaration on the tax check. We've now got the digital platform thing, which is, without boring it, just means that your operator, in the long term, it's not happening quite just yet, but basically potentially the operator will have to give your information over whether you've got a choice or not. That's what they're pushing for. So we're already in a society where the tax authority knows what you're doing before you're not declaring it anymore. They're doing it, and it just means that anybody that wants to that wants to have an easy life, earn their money, and enjoy themselves has got to learn to play the game early on.
Yes.
Sorry, Gary, I'm just mildly distracted. I suddenly noticed you're holding a skull. Is this some kind of secret society, skull and crossbones or something?
Any reason for that?
Masonic thing?
Ex-wife?
I was just weirdly attracted to it, and as Ash said, I did ask him last night, would you be interested in a little head, and he gave me this.
Yes.
He
which I
just
thought was nice.
Old head.
Yeah. Well, this is an old head on old shoulders.
Very
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that's for York. I knew him a ratio. He was a man with infinite
So
chest.
he's just trying to make tax look interesting. Moving
on
along
both heads.
moving on to drivers. So, what's going on? Drivers, have they got to now report every journey, every revenue? How do they do that? There's been quite confusion in the trade this year because you've got like Uber platforms, those digital platforms where they had to report the driver.
They're already reporting. And
whereas private hire was a bit, well, are we digital platform? Are we walk-in?
So I'm...
Break it down for us, but talk to us like we're 5-year-olds.
Okay. When you're driving for a ride-hailing app, your information has already been reported, whatever you want to do.
Whether you like it or not, it's there, it's on the CSV.
Like Uber, everyone's doing it.
What they're called gatekeeper digital platforms.
Yes,
it's already been done. However, the thing to remember, and I don't want to encourage people, but if you've got 3 or 4 modes of income, you're working for an operator, they're only going to know the bit you do for the ride-hailing app.
Yes.
At the moment, whether or not operators have to report it, at the moment, most of them aren't. And I'm actually involved in a fight that we're having with HMRC to say not everybody's captured by it. So do they want every operator to report? Yes. Are they going to get what they want? We don't always get what we want in life.
Yeah, we've got to adapt.
So I'm working with the trade bodies at the moment to put our case forward. And so that's it. But and what's the stupid thing about this is, as I said before, everybody when they renew the license has got to make a declaration of some sorts anyway. What we've got at the moment is a confusion. I mean, there's loads of, you read in the press, there's court cases going on.
That's
big
right.
things going on. So it's a little bit the Wild West out there.
And when I speak to drivers when I'm out and about, not ours or any driver, and I ask them this question once in a blue moon, and like you say, it's the confusion with some of them know, some of them are unsure.
And some of them
it's not clear.
And we all think we're clever as well. And they're not
Yes.
going to notice that cash, or
Yeah.
even though your mileage might suggest that you're doing.
I think
There's
that
lots of ways.
if I was a driver at the moment, and obviously I speak to lots of drivers all the time,
It's your job.
it's kind of my job. I wouldn't worry about the big stuff because that is going to come to fruition anyway. What I would concentrate on is what I'm declaring day to day and how I'm gathering my stuff. And basically, the simple answer within a year, it's no good going into your accountant with a bag of receipts.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, okay, so my company, Easy Tax, that's eazitax.co.uk.
Well, don't worry, Gary. We'll put a link below.
No, it'll be up there. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Anyway, but in all seriousness, in my company, what we've done is we've realised. I mean, sit down with the driver and no disrespect, sit down with anybody and say, I want you to have this really complicated bit of accounting. So do me a favour.
No,
yeah.
So what we've done is we've thought, right, what can everybody do? Everyone can do a selfie. So, and like I would hope that most accountants are doing this. We've got a system whereby you take a selfie of all your receipts, then it's our problem.
So it literally is, I've just filled out a Tesco, bang, on the phone, and then upload it.
Yeah,
to
we've
an
got, we've with us, you think you're doing it into WhatsApp, but it's actually going to quite a sophisticated bit of software.
Yes,
but
yeah.
once you've done it, it's our
done.
problem.
Yeah.
And that's what we realised is.
So I've done that. What I feel like, so I've done my expense. Just want to ask, what expenses can I claim or send to you?
Oh, that's always the favourite.
And how
yeah.
to report the revenue as well to you on this system, which.
So the first thing is everybody needs to register. You can't, and to be honest, we're now at a position with conditionality with the tax checks where if you're not registered, you're not going to be able to relicense.
Of course not. No.
Register. I'd always say use an accountant to register. I'm not saying use us, but you need to have somebody to register because even that is a bit confusing because they ask you if you work for anybody. But if you are within the private hire industry, 99% of people
You're
are self-employed.
Yes.
And do me a favour, everybody. Whatever you read in the press,
Yeah.
you're self-employed, mate. You know, it's not complicated. And also, self-employed people take home more money. It's not rocket science.
You wouldn't want to be PAYE, would you? Really?
No.
If you're self-employed, you can pick and choose your work.
Do you know what? Although I deal with companies that look at this worker status, which isn't really in our side, but is in some other gig economy, you don't benefit in the long run. The best thing to do is self-employment means you end up taking home more money. It's not a simple thing. Once you're registered, all the revenue you want is what you're spending, what you're earning.
Yes, right.
Now,
yeah.
Here's the rule. Very simple. Expenses. Tax is really simple. I would say that, but everything you earn, that's everything you spend on your business, and what's left over is your profit, and that's what you pay tax on. That's it. Not over
So
that.
the more you spend there, the less tax you spend there.
Absolutely.
So if I take £100 and I'm going to put maybe £35 in fuel, so there's my profit, and then what else can I put as an overhead to that £100?
So, strange enough, the HMRC makes it really simple. They say you can only claim anything solely for the use of your business. And that's
shoes.
That's where the fun of definition comes
Yes,
in. And I'm going to be honest here. The level that you can claim to is also based on the bravery of your accountant.
Yeah.
And if you go to your accountant and say, I want to claim for a suit because I'm a chauffeur.
Yes.
Or I'll give you a list of what you can claim for in a second. But if your accountant goes, I'm not willing to do that, you've got to respect their wishes because what your accountant is saying, I don't think I can defend that. You'll go to another accountant and say, I want to claim for this, this, and this, and the accountant goes, yeah, I'm fine. Well, then, if he's willing, he or she's willing to defend that, that's fine.
They're an accountant.
So what I mean by is anything for the business, your vehicle. I mean, that's an easy one if you're renting. I'm not even going to go down leasing, hire, but however you engage to get your vehicle, insurance. Fuel if you're hybrid or anything else. But remember, if you're electric, you've still got to work out how much electric you're using. So you've got to include that. And once again,
that's interesting.
Well, you should be able to go to your accountant and say, "That's my electric bill. You work it out."
Yeah.
And if they don't work it out, then tell them to get stuffed and come to us because it's
Wow.
So we get that. So you mentioned obviously it's at the discretion of the accountant, but with your app. That's kind of providing the service, or is the app
Yeah, the app is
Is
basically...
Easy Tax addition to the would they need an accountant if they're just reporting
No,
everything?
the app is the app. Easy Tax as a company is behind the app.
Yeah.
So we use the app as a simple delivery system. You download it, you put your details in, but part of the system is you still get a phone call from an accountant that talks you through it. Because I believe that people want help.
They do.
Yeah, they don't understand,
Yeah.
do they?
No.
You know, it's the same with us. We're all experts in that, whether it be taxi driving, mowing lawns,
But we're not
gardening as well.
accountants.
But we're not accountants. So this makes it easy.
The reason that we developed the app was you can go online and there's 101 tax apps, which is you don't need an accountant, go and do it. The problem is if you've got a question, I'll tell you what they do is you go on their chat line and you end up with a YouTube video and you're no further down than you were.
Yeah.
So what we did is we wanted to get the easiest way to collect the things, to collect the expenses, the easiest way to onboard, but at the end of it, when you hit that roadblock, you pick up the phone you
can speak
go on
to
the chat.
somebody,
And it's actually, by the way, some bloke in our office. It's not.
It's a real person.
Yeah,
not
It's not
AI.
like Bob and Chloe and Julie.
We're running a bit short of time now, so I just want to clarify two things. So from next year, every driver has to report their income.
Every driver could potentially, I've got to say that, have their income reported for them
By whoever
what
they're
I would
working
say
for.
is, don't worry. I'm going to give you a quick plus as well. When you claim your stuff, if you go on our website, there's a little booklet because we claim stuff like subsistence, which is food on the go and everything else. What I was going to get to was you can expand what you do. So what you need to do is have a look at our website, and even if you want to use it, push your own accountant to make sure you do it. The most important thing that everybody's got to do is not worry about whether they're being reported, but make sure the tax return is clean and nice, which is what we do.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Now, if somebody wants to subscribe to, what's the cost? Are we talking the cost of a coffee or?
Well, we have, it is graduated, but it's basically, it works out at £42 a month for everything.
Oh my gosh, how can I not do a deal for Take Me? Ignore what I said. For every Take Me driver, we're willing to do it for £36 a month. That's right, we're going to do all of your tax work and everything you need for £36 a month.
So what you do is you engage with that, download the app, and we do everything for you.
That's peace of mind, isn't
And that's
it?
also, if you get into trouble, we act for you. There's no really
Yeah.
insurance.
So
good.
that's
You get-
got a full package, isn't it?
Oh no, that's production. That's everything. That's help.
Yes,
And you get
yeah.
Angry Gary as well.
Angry Gary with his that by
With
the
his
way
skull, yeah.
was an ex-HMRC inspector there, right on his lap.
Yeah,
Gary,
yeah.
before you go, a couple of things, house rules. I want you to take a look at the lost property bag from Real Lost Property. Take a delve in there, see if there's anything that you want to choose there.
Well, wasn't this in the lost property?
No, that's yours.
I'm gonna put
It
that
was, I think, somebody.
Mate, there's a
You were
hat
paying-
in there.
There you go. He's shopping. You see.
Oh,
Shopping.
yeah.
Tax man.
There's a tiny frock.
You know, this
Hold on.
is how we can afford.
There you go. Look.
There you go. That's second time. Wow. There you go,
look,
mate.
yeah.
Well, I am,
You could sit on your tractor on that,
mate. I'm an East End geezer, aren't I? I am born and
Birmingham.
bred in the
mate.
East End.
Mate, you look like you're from a Guy Ritchie movie now.
Well, in
Uh,
many
and
ways, I am.
finally, very quickly, we're going to play true or false. Okay, Gary, so over to you with the true or false story. And the rules are, we'll guess whether it's true or false, and the crew here, and you can play at home as well.
This will be interesting.
In order to become, and I'm not saying which union it was, in order to become the official union-sponsored accountant for their sex workers division, I had to go on a date with a sex worker.
True.
I suppose you're doing market research, and
By the way,
Research and development.
when I say a date, I mean out to dinner. I'm a happy,
Not around a pole.
actually, I'm a happily married man of 38 years.
did you
this
make
year.
your excuses and leave? No, I actually think that is true. Guys, did he go out for a date with a sex worker?
False.
So I'm saying true. What do you say?
I said
True.
true.
So two of us are true here at this side of the camera. The rest of the team think Gary is living in fantasy world.
Gary, over to you.
So in order to engage with the union when I first started, I went out to lunch with their union representative, which I didn't know, and we had a very nice lunch, and I was engaged with that union for quite a long time, still am. And the person that took me out to lunch was actually an active sex worker at the time.
Male or female?
Female.
Okay.
But, you know, at school we had a really
Yeah.
nice lunch, it was great. And I didn't realise that I was being tested, but we went and had lunch and it was very nice and everything else. So yes, I did go out for a lunch date with an active sex worker, and who continued to come on my books as a client. And I looked after
Excuse
them.
the pun.
Because there's no judgment from my end. So there we are, there's your tip.
Well done, Gary. Well done.
Right, Gary, you've been a fantastic guest.
Yes.
Don't forget to look at the links below for joining Easy Tax. And join us next time. Don't forget to like us, subscribe, ring that bell,
And share it.
and share it. See you later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.